the amount of movement. I mean, this whole film is a masterclass in filmmaking. You could watch this movie on repeat and just notice pay attention to a different thing every time. Lighting is one, camera movement, blocking, color, another one, acting, of course, directing, editing, all of it. Everything is just so well done. This is one of my favorite movies. It has been for the longest time since it first came out, I think, and it's available for free right now on YouTube Movies, which is an underutilized space when it comes to streaming. I think most people talk about Netflix, they talk about Hulu or HBO or Amazon Prime, but there's quite a bit on YouTube Movies. Good stuff from the past that you can still watch for free. Ocean's 11, just that right amount of good, sarcastic comedy where it's not meant to make you laugh out loud. You're not supposed to be, bursting at the seams from how funny it is, but really good, solid delivery. Obviously, we have an A-list cast. So many celebrities in this movie, even at the time and in hindsight. Remake, of course. I don't even think I've seen the original, come to think about it. I should look that up next, but this is just one of those, when I first saw it, I don't know, there's something about a good heist movie, and the way this is executed is so good. Directed by Steven Soderbergh, which this stands out in terms of his filmography and everything he's done. Certainly the most, I don't know if it's the most commercially successful franchise that he's done, but it seems like it. I love how this movie looks. Everything has that traditional Hollywood lighting, soft key, hard edge, strong edge light. It just looks so rich and vibrant. Obviously Trump, is that Plaza in the background? Brad Pitt. Always eating in this movie for some reason. That was a stylistic choice that I think is, I don't know, just something about it. So memorable. I love this scene because it's interesting, they have this group of them. It's, Rusty. But it creates such this interesting dynamic where the character is teaching television actors how to play poker. I don't know, it creates this interesting contrast between what at the time movies and TV shows were so separate, so different. Brad Pitt wouldn't be in a TV show. He's a movie star. But in this scene, they're all movie stars, except we still keep that disparity between the two from a character perspective. He's smarter. He's more experienced. He knows how to play poker. They're all kind of, I don't want to call them idiots, but they don't know how to play, right? More of that just sarcastic comedy. Nothing that's going to make you fall over from laughter and how hilarious it is, but just nice, Feels good. We got George Clooney, Brad Pitt. The actors, obviously on a different level compared to the television actors that are also in the room. More of that like CW, charmed Dawson's Creek. I think Joshua Jackson's there, right? But the characters themselves, Daniel Ocean, Rusty, I don't know his last name. They're also on a different level than these poker players. They're playing a different game. Nice to have those layers. So now we know who's the leader, how this crew is coming together. They clearly have a history, kind of partners in crime, but we've established the hierarchy of the group, but also the bond between them, I think, is quite strong. The chemistry, this movie is nothing but chemistry. It's incredible from both writing and acting and direction. But look, we get color, we get vibrance, and it's not a single palette of just teal and orange. It's not just teal and gray like we're getting so often these days. There's a green plant on there, there's some red, there's some yellow, there's some blue. It feels rich and lifelike. But notice there's a really interesting editing choices as well, where things just keep going. One of the things I think it's a lot of people stuck when it comes to editing and storytelling is they get stuck on all the in-between, feeling like you need to explain to the audience, okay, this is happening and now we got to see them go over here, and then this happens and we got to see them over here. There's a lot of just quick jump cut, not jump cut in the YouTuber sense where you're jump cutting through the same angle, but now they're at the elevator. We didn't need to see them walk over here. We didn't need to establish the scene. It just, they're there and we're on to the next thing, on to the next thing. It keeps such a heightened sense of momentum, and that's all this movie has, is momentum. It just keeps going. And here we have that kind of like George Clooney's face, underlit. It's not super soft and flattering and beauty light like you'd see now, but it looks real. It looks authentic to the scene. But obviously it is lit, just in a more natural, realistic way. Same thing here. They're outside. It's not the perfect, softest, flattest light you've ever seen. There's some harsh shadows. There's some, like his skin, Ruben, Elliot Gould, his skin is underexposed there, where he's got the strong edge light for the sun. I love these flashbacks. He's telling these stories and we get kind of the black and white for the 50s, 70s. So now we get some color, we get some extra diffusion, some haze. Now the 80s, the more Miami Vice style. Just love when they do recreations that feel authentic visually to the time period. And it's just for this little throwaway gag. It's the only time in the movie they do it, and it's great. It's perfect. I don't even know how much they're even modifying the sun here anyway. It's just natural. That's just what it looked like. Of course, they picked the time of the day to shoot it, but they're not making this big, beautiful, soft light. They're just saying this is what it looks like. This is what the sun looks like. Let's shoot it. And they do this great single take here, this kind of long hold, pushes in, he walks up. The blocking, so well executed in this movie. But again, pay attention to lighting. It's not perfect. We got the background is kind of bright, nothing really blown out, but they're underexposed in silhouette, and that's okay. It doesn't have to all be uniform and even and 50%. But now they step forward, get a little closer, more interest. Okay. Camera pushes in. Oh, the timing, flawless. In the car, over to the sign. Oh, it's just so good. And I love that all of these vignettes give us, and they establish who these characters are immediately. So we've got Casey Affleck, the kind of nerdier tech enthusiast. He's the gearhead guy. He's gonna, tinker with his toy truck. But then we've got Mr. Macho over here, the twin brother, and they're competitive. But we see their different paths to competition. And of course, brawn beats brains, but they're laughing, having fun. It's like a game to them. Get some nice zooms in this movie too. A zoom and a pan. Oh, there we go. The neurotic type, the tech guy, the AV guy, Linus, awkward, uncomfortable. Nice zoom out to them. Like, oh my gosh. It's all stuff that could be done in editing, but they do it in camera. And like I said, the momentum, it just keeps going, keeps driving. Basher pulling this, what seems to be a flawless heist. He's done his job perfectly, but of course, it's a team. Everyone's got to be good. And one person can't do the whole thing. You need that. You need 11, right? You need traveling all over, getting their group. The amazing end. Nice, just one of those comedy beats that just hits because of how it's so cool, because it's all understated. They're not trying to make you laugh, but they are being funny. See, look at those shadows. I mean, this looks like full sun. This could have some kind of bounce element to it, but I don't even think so. I think that's just the sun hitting these actors, the right time of day, right location. It's all intentional. Clearly there's nothing special going on there. It's a wide shot. There's no room to hide lights and bounces. Here, there, another tucked in a little bit more shady spot, a little bit more controlled with the light. Not full sun. They've moved up to the private box seats. But then notice things like depth of field. Okay, a movie now, all those people in the background, all those extras would be blurred to nothing. They'd probably be digital. This would probably be fake green screen volume, whatever. But no, they're at a racetrack and there's so much depth of field. Everything is in focus and it still looks like cinema. You don't need shallow depth of field to be cinematic. You get it from time to time in these lower light environments where it makes sense. The background is more blurred. There's less to see back there because it's dark, it's atmospheric, it's moody. Playing with the shutter speed, playing with the frame rates, just being a little stylistic. I don't know that I love it, but it's an aesthetic. It's okay. Again, Danny being the one who kind of has the upper hand. He is the leader because he is the most talented compared to the whole crew, but they all have their skill sets. They all have their strengths and weaknesses, which we'll get to. Daniel has his own weaknesses, by the way. He's not perfect. Everyone's flawed to some extent, and this movie gets that right. The traditional backside key light where we're shooting on the shadow side. Oh, it's just so nice. It looks so good. Helicopter shots before drones. When you shoot out of a helicopter, you get this little music montage. Set up Vegas. This is our home base. This is where the story takes place, where everything's happening in Vegas. So let's make it feel like Vegas with some Elvis music. Again, the comedy just, every time it hits, there's not even time really to laugh. You wouldn't put a laugh track in there. It's just witty. So now we get the fun scene where they establish what is the heist, what is the job we're pulling, and how are we going to do it. We start kicking off the story. Even though we've already been going this whole time, I absolutely love how this movie looks because it's lit perfectly, but no one looks perfect. The lighting is perfect, but they don't look perfect. They look like a group of people sitting in a room having a conversation. And not everything is these extreme close-ups. So we can see shoulders and arms and hands. We see head, shoulders, knees, and toes. No, not all of it. But we get more than just face close up. The closest one was there. That's still right at his belly button. That's a closer shot. There's about the closest we've been where it's kind of, head to chin, but we still have Matt Damon there in the background. There's a close up. And even that shallow depth of field is not super shallow. We can see we have context for the room they're in, who's behind them. We get some background blur. The zooms, so nice. That energy just comes across in every frame. Everything's moving. A moving shot, moving. The camera moves. All right, now they're moving. Camera stays. Basher's coming out. All right, camera's following him. Looks handheld because they probably had to do it that way. They're just out on the street, out on the strip. Camera's moving. Nice dolly there. Continues from in a different room. It's like a match cut. Get some foreground action. Now we're zooming in, all in the same shot. And match cut there. Pan down. Tilt down, rather. I say pan for everything. It's a bad habit. Zoom in to the balloons, and then we get this nice fade transition to the balloons here. Going to cross dissolve. Not a good look, in my opinion, but if there's a purpose to it, to signify the passage of time, all the tilting and panning. Now the camera's on a dolly, moving here. Tracking shot, got pan over into the room. Okay, dolly again. We got the, not a zoom out, but a pull, dolly out, tilt up, zoom in. Lee, the amount of movement. I mean, this whole film is a masterclass in filmmaking. You could watch this movie on repeat and just notice pay attention to a different thing every time. Lighting is one, camera movement, blocking, color, another one, acting, of course, directing, editing, all of it. Everything is just so well done because the camera frequently moves. When it has a reason to, a strong reason to, it moves. If there's no motivation, it doesn't. And here we don't get the tilt down. We don't get to see what he picked up because we're building that suspense. Everything is intentional. Oh, we thought he was going to get busted, but no, he was being helpful. How nice. Camera dolly back, across. Oh, look at that. All hit their marks perfectly in time. It's very intentional. I can't even say it's hard to do. It's not difficult. You just rehearse the scene, you plan it out, you block it out, and you make it happen. But it's the intention to do it, the thought, to choreograph all those pieces, the actors along with the camera and the entire scene happening. Because if you have to redo it, now you have to reset all that stuff. Everyone gets their moments. Got Bernie Mac giving a great performance as Frank just keeps moving, keeps moving. They love to do the, I don't know what they're called, the twirl transitions, the spin transitions, whatever they are. They love to do it in this movie. And they're fun. Remember, like that playful Vegas vibe. Purity. Now we meet Terry Benedict, Andy Garcia. Now we reveal a little bit more. Okay, it's not just about the money. It's also about Tess, Julia Roberts' character. Get to see, oh, she's part of this too. She's involved. All the camera movement, just so satisfying. Choreography, it's like a ballet almost. When those marks are hit so well, everything just flows. Ooh. We're not green screening things. It's not a fake soundstage with a volume. It's just there. We're in a warehouse somewhere in Vegas. And we have this just nice time to watch a conversation happen. Watch actors act, play their characters. Here's another one of those nice scenes when it comes to lighting. So there's this light, motivated light on the table, this glowing lamp thing that I don't know if it's doing all the lighting work in the close-ups. Maybe it's supplemented with something else, but you can see in that previous scene, the catch light is in their eyes and the light is clearly underneath. So it feels very natural. It still looks nice, but it has a sense of it is cinematic realism where things look good, but they are coming from the scene. It's not beauty lighting for beauty lighting's sake. See that the catch light in her eyes is low, down low, same with George Clooney here. I assume it's just that light on the table doing the heavy lifting. Maybe there's a little bit extra. They lost her. Do they have an edge light on her? It's hard to say. They do on him. You can see his ears kind of lit up and then offside. Simple stuff. Soft key light, some kind of edge light, and it looks great. And it doesn't have to be perfect, It's almost like horror lighting for Julia Roberts there, where the light is coming up on her face. And guess what? It's okay. There's something there coming from the other side. They're doing gorgeous film for how minimal it is, right? Where would you hide a light? There's nowhere to hide a light. You saw the camera pan through the little scene. There's nothing there. Same here, right? They're outside, wind's blowing. Maybe they're doing something for the close-ups, but he's watching TV instead of looking out the window, It's haha, funny. I think this is billed as a comedy, although I don't know, it's action. It's a heist movie. And I guess they all have a comedic element to some degree. They should, I would think, to be entertaining. A little bit more of that playful banter. So now we're seeing the pieces come together. The heist is kind of starting to unfold. We get a little more information. Oh, they've built a replica of the safe. We knew they were building it and it's done. Now they're doing rehearsals. They did that twisty transition because it's Don Cheadle just to a side angle, and probably to cover the edit, they just did the rotation. But because they've used it consistently now throughout the entire film, it's just time passed. We flipped the shot, even though it's almost the same exact shot of Don Cheadle. Like any good heist movie, problems arise along the way. So we got to solve those problems. It's not going to go off flawlessly. We got to get a pinch. Speaking of all the wonderful cinematography, Steven Soderbergh did all the cinematography as Peter Andrews. That's the pseudonym, the stage name that he used as cinematographer. Steven Soderbergh likes to do that a lot. I don't know if he shot every movie he's directed, but many of them. He's been cinematographer as well as director. Budget for this movie was $85 million, which at the time was quite large. By today's standards, it's almost cheap. Although I don't think, once you're in the millions, nothing is cheap anymore, right? But $85 million, that's respectable for 2001. More problems. So it's not enough to have a heist movie with just one problem. You've got to have multiple problems. You have to plan, but then things don't go according to plan. And you got to adjust, you got to pivot, you got to problem solve in real time. That's where the story comes from. That's where the drama, the tension, all that comes from. If you want to write a heist movie and they go with a clever plan and they execute the clever plan, that's a bad heist movie. You got to have a clever plan, a bunch of problems come up. It seems like it's going off the rails, but then it turns out it was even more clever plan after the fact. We'll get there with Ocean's 11 if it is actually as clever as it thinks it is, but I appreciate the effort. Amp up his adrenaline or something. So George Clooney, Julia Roberts, he's coming to say goodbye, but it's all part of the plan. He's leaning in for the goodbye kiss on the cheek, but no, we find out later he slipped something into her pocket, a cell phone, which is another one of the funny things about watching. Even like this is not that old of a movie, but she has a line later where she says, I don't own a cell phone. A time when people didn't own cell phones. That's how old this movie is. And so I think obviously things would be different. Technology has come a long way, but there's nothing visually about this movie that strikes me as old or outdated. If anything, it's classic, like the halation, the diffusion there on all the lights. There was a interesting factoid that Steven Soderbergh, who shot the film along with directing it, used diffusion for all the casino stuff. I think it was black pro mist. So you see all the lights have that nice used, but it's soft, it's mild, it's subtle, it's not overkill. The whole thing isn't blurry. It's just the lights have a glow. You definitely just have to kind of go with it as far as the things they could plan out and how well they go or how poorly they go. There's a lot of that, right? The spontaneous nature of some of these events seems like, how would you guarantee? So Danny knows this character, Bruiser, I think is his name. I assume that's not his birth name, but I think he calls him Bruiser, I think. How would he know that that's who they were going to call in? Those are some of the questions. You just gotta go with it, right? But then here, they put the briefcase on top of where Yen is. So now he's got to get out with a briefcase on top. Saul is faking a heart attack, I think is what's happening. Bruiser, there he said. So how did he coordinate that it was going to be him exactly there? I mean, you just go with it. You say, he's that brilliant of a mastermind. Now they're watching the fight. So this is where we get that kind of visual tension. Things are happening. It's chaotic. There's a lot going on. The stakes are incredibly high. Of course, everyone's a little sweaty, Saul especially. I love the kind of extra acting that Brad Pitt does when he plays these characters, the characters in the movie, right? Whether it's the doctor or it was earlier I don't know if it was the FBI, or I think he says he's with the ATF, but he kind of he's like acting, obviously a little, which is a nice touch. Some suspense as they're suspended. And this movie does a good job of giving you enough information to know what the heist is, how it's supposed to work, but they don't spell out every step, so you don't actually know when it's happening. Is this the plan? What are they doing right now? The whole scene with the elevator and the lasers is not explained before it happens, but the pinch is. So so they need the pinch to cut the power so they can drop down this elevator shaft. That's what they were trying to do. It does a nice job of giving you some of the information, but not all of it. And then your brain, gets to connect those dots later on. Oh, it's like the best sound effect right there. I love those glow sticks dropping, but they didn't plan to have long enough cables. And just in time, back to it. Now chaos ensues because the power went out. It's Vegas. People are going to go nuts. So we get that bedlam, the pandemonium that I think Basher asked before. Do you want, what does he say? Blackout, something, or bedlam. There's three options. They say all three. So that's what they get. Everyone at the fight doesn't know what to do. Everyone at the casino is just grabbing whatever chips they can. And here's Yen coming out, doing his part. Gotta catch the case. Whew, right there. What is this puck This is where you just go, okay, I guess they have some kind of gas that comes out of there that knocks him out. Whatever that was. Didn't blow. How convenient. I suppose Yen could have just knocked on the safe door again, because we just established you can hear through the thing with the slamming. So he could have hit it really aggressively, I suppose, to kind of get their attention, but it all worked out. He's okay. And surprisingly, he drops the F-bomb here. And that's the second one in this movie. This is a PG-13 movie, but they get away with 2 F-bombs. I don't know how they did it, because Ruben says one way earlier. He says, you're in the effing desert. So now Terry Benedict, Andy Garcia gets the cell phone line I was talking about. So they call the cell phone that Danny placed in her pocket. Got to talk to Terry Benedict. But why would you let him in on the heist? Why would you tell him? Well, they established earlier that they're going to get in, they're going to break in, but how are they going to break out? We need some help. So Tess remembers that Danny slipped her the phone in the pocket. There we go. Nice little reveal. Oh, okay, so he was saying goodbye, but it was more than that. And this is where we start setting up the twist for the audience, which is, I don't know, I'm conflicted. When I saw this for the first time, my mind was blown. I thought it was the most clever thing I'd ever seen. And even for many years after watching it multiple times, I've always found the twist heist reveal to be very enjoyable. And it's only lately that I'm turning a little sour on it, because up until this point in time, we've seen everything play out in real time. We've seen all the pieces, all the components, but now we're, as the audience, starting to get tricked a little bit. We don't see Brad Pitt anymore. We don't see who the 911 dispatcher is. We see Brad Pitt. Okay, but we're about to not see. I think that he leaves the screen and we don't see him again. So he's explaining that Benedict's men are going to take the cash out, half of it, 80 million, put it in a van, and they're going to drive it to the airport, McCarran. So that's Benedict's team taking out half the cash, putting in this remote control car, which we established earlier. That was one of the twins who does that. The remote operations, great, cool. Now the SWAT team shows up. So we're still seeing all of it. He's describing it. Brad Pitt's describing it, but it's also happening. Like, it wouldn't be happening that fast, right? And that's where I just have to go with it and say, yeah, I'll buy in. I'll assume that him spelling out the plan in the same conversation, because now Terry Benedict's acting like that's already happened. But now Brad Pitt's gone. And we know in the future, in hindsight, we know that he's part of the SWAT team. See, so it's played for real time. The SWAT team is also going down the elevator shaft the same way. We know that this SWAT team, though, is our guys. I don't know if I've never actually counted them all. One of them is Saul, though, for some reason. Like, I guess he had to go somewhere after he had his heart attack and he died. Now we're seeing, okay, so they're kind of playing it up. They're acting now, putting on the show. But is this pre-recorded? Did they stage this part too? It's a little unclear. So over here, we've got Casey Affleck and Elliot Gould who are sitting here watching. So there's there's Ocean's 11. Danny is down in the vault. There's 3 in the vault, 2 here, 5. So what is that? Is that 6 on the SWAT team? That's Brad Pitt as the SWAT team voice, obviously. Who is just talking to on the phone. You'd think, you sound awfully familiar. You sound like the guy who's robbing me. Is there 6 of them? Oh, that looked like a little more than 6, but I can't tell. It should be 6. Remote controlled car, nice reveal. How funny. So these 2 are here. Elliot Gould, Casey Affleck. They're sitting here messing with these guys at the airport. No money in this van, because it turns out that we're going to see in a second, it was loaded with flyers, but those were pulled out of the vault. So they had to be brought in somehow. How were they in the vault? Because the SWAT team wasn't there yet. And now we get the grand reveal. No Bellagio on the vault floor. Oh, it's all a recording to appear innocent. It wasn't. He wasn't involved at all. And his line is basically just like, trust me, bro, it wasn't me. I've been in here getting my butt kicked for an entire hour and I'm barely bleeding. But yeah, now we get the payoff to an earlier line where Julia Roberts' character, Tess, had said, wanted to give Terry Benedict a kiss. He said, there's always someone watching. So now we're sending her the feed of the casino, and she gets to see that he cares more about the money than he does her, which breaks her heart. She realizes, I still love Danny. He's the best. Even though he's not changed, he's exactly who he always was. It's just, turns out Terry Benedict is equally as bad, just probably even worse. But yeah, Danny doesn't change really. He just is, I guess he says, what's the line he say? I only lied about being a thief. And no, she's pissed. She's pissed. There's always someone watching. That's right, Terry. So now you have no girl, no money. You have the insurance claim. I'm sure you'll get it all back. You'll be fine. But he's been duped and deceived. And here the SWAT team comes. Obviously not the SWAT team. I think you get in big trouble if you impersonate SWAT team. And they're all happily ever after. They did it. They pulled it off. What's she thinking? She's thinking, am I really gonna get back with my ex-husband? I made him sign papers to divorce me, but now I gotta find him. I just love him so much. Like, he's the same guy. He's going to jail again. 6 months. He's going off again for 6 months. For what? I don't know. Why is he even being arrested? What did he do? List. Maybe that was the punishment, the penalty for the crime. And here we get the iconic Bellagio fountain scene. They actually used pink gel, I think, for the lighting here on the fountains. One of the only times the color has been changed on these fountains. And I want to say they were supposed to say something. There was dialogue written for this scene, but they didn't say it. They didn't say anything. They just said, oh, okay. Just walk off silently. They all know. Mission accomplished. I think they each get, what's 160 million divided by 11? 3 to 6 months later, we get the nice reveal. Here's Brad Pitt eating a cheeseburger. He doesn't eat in every scene in this movie, but most of them he's frequently eating. And George Clooney managed to grow some stubble in 3 to 6 months. The jabs, the sarcastic comedy. It's just so good. This is one of those movies I think is almost infinitely rewatchable to me, just for how charming and charismatic it is, how cool, just visually, everything about it. It's a work of art, a masterclass in filmmaking. It's a happy ending for Danny and Tess. They're obviously being followed by these two goons, keeping tabs, right? But we assume that, they each made 15 million. I think Danny had to pay a couple million to Bruiser. So let's say 10 to 15 million each. I don't know how the taxes work, but that's Ocean's 11. It's a lot of fun, and it's available for free on YouTube. So you could just literally just go watch it right now.